Hmm.
So I welcome you to the Tribology lab, and I will take you to the various machines of this laboratory and other activities which are being done in this Tribology laboratory. This is our faculty room here in the Tribology room, where we discuss various problems of tribology with students, and then we take the decision, and after that we just start with our research work. This laboratory has produced since 2012 14 PhDs, 13 belongs to me and one board faculty member. And we have produced almost 100 MTech theses from this laboratory. This laboratory has been funded by FIST Government of India and by DST in various schemes and for establishing high temperature laboratory. So you can see here, this is the first machine which we have obtained through FIST Fund Government of India, and this is a versatile equipment which has various attachments. Right now we have installed on this reciprocating sliding attachment high temperature up to the temperature of 900 degrees Celsius, but at this time we have not set the temperature because we have to put then another component on it which is there. But this is reciprocating sliding attachment, and when we remove this high temperature we can put on this reciprocating sliding fitting attachment on this, and we have another attachment which is unidirectional sliding, and this is the upper lid of this, and then this can work up to 1000 degrees Celsius. So in this laboratory we have on this equipment we can do all tests like from automobile to the space applications, and temperature from room to 1000 degrees Celsius. So whenever we have to take high temperature tests, this equipment actually has been given to me by the FIST Government of India for the only carrying out the high temperature tests on the various equipment. And because of this equipment we have got a collaboration with University of Texas, for whom we will be doing high temperature coating tests. This is another equipment which is the essential equipment for tribology. This is 3D profilometer with the atomic force microscopy, and it is used for measuring the surface roughness and for measuring the surface morphology of the samples which we develop in this machine, even for the coatings, even for the other equipment, for the other machine elements which we develop material ourselves, then we test ourselves. Before and after carrying the test, we measure the surface morphological studies on this instrument. Now, I will be taking you to the second, one more equipment which is a nanotribometer, and this tribometer is used for testing the materials and coatings at a very low load in millinewton and micronewton. The previous equipment was for high load and high speed applications. This is for low load applications for the nano coatings especially, and the size of the sample is very small. You can see here the top sample can carry on this size up to 1.2 millimeter, and this is reciprocating here. This is only one attachment. We have also here nanomechanical system, which is a high-end equipment for testing of coatings and for testing of nanomaterials, for phase analysis, for mapping of properties, for composites, for coatings and low temperature as well as high temperature and room temperature. So it has got various attachments. This is from Bruker. It has got various attachments by which we can carry various tests with various indentations and at various speeds, at various loads, and starting from, and this has also got an attachment for microscratch and nanoscratch. So this is a multi-purpose equipment. Now this equipment is another machine on which we carry the engine. It's called engine tribometer, and on this machine we carry the engine simulation tests. In this, why this is called engine tribo tester? Because here we carry the tests at a very high load, high speeds, which are simulating the real conditions of IC engine. And this equipment we have also enclosed in this case engine tribo tester with tribo corrosion, and we can have the corrosion studies on various materials, composites and coatings. All types of tests we can do on this, and this is specifically designed for the tribo corrosion tests. And then there is another attachment for this, that is the engine simulator tester. Here we here the cylinder, this cylinder sample is put, and on the top of this then it is moved on this, and here we can do high speed and high load tests, which can be for heavy duty engines, for low duty engines, low engines and commercial, as well as the cars, etc. This instrument is again used for the surface property measurements like hardness, micro hardness, wicker hardness, rocker hardness, and this instrument is also automatic. There is a CNC table on this, and this CNC table adjusts itself, and autofocus is obtained. Then we can find the micro hardness values with low load as well as a load up to 3 kgs. So we can use it for the metals, for the composites, and especially for the ceramics which have got high load capacity. And every tribology equipment, tribology lab should have a high-end microscopy, and here we have a high-end microscope on which we can analyze the surface morphology, and we study the microstructure of the samples before and after the test. So this is a very sensitive focus equipment, and the Z-axis is moved with the help of a motor in a nanometer. So we can have a sharp focus here in the case of this instrument. This is a vacuum chamber in which we store our coatings. When we develop coatings, and after using the target, we have to store it in a safe position under high vacuum, and we store it here. This is 4-ball tester, and as I have told you, we have got all the facilities here for testing of materials, solids, as well as for the liquids. Here we can test all types of lubricants, their frictional properties, their wear properties, and then we can see what are the, if we mix the nano lubricant with the nanoparticles with the lubricant, then we also test those here, and we can study their friction and wear properties. So then this is a cutting machine here, low speed cutting. When we have to cut hard samples like ceramics at a low speed, then we use this. This is a ultrasonicator, and when we have to prepare our nano lubricants, we use this ultrasonicator for mixing of nanoparticles with the lubricant. And this is here 3D vector system. This is used for condition monitoring of liquids as well as lubricants and greases, especially for those industrial equipments which are sensitive to life and which are sensitive, where the failures are very important to avoid, like gondola rope. And we have to take the samples regularly and then analyze them and see what is the condition of various equipment there, what is the condition of rope, whether it is deteriorating, and when to replace it, and when it is going to be failed. So we can predict those. This is the condition monitoring equipment, 3D vector. So in this case we get wear particles, we get also the what are the other contaminants in the lubricant, and on the basis of contamination and the size of the particles we can predict, and the identification of particles, if the particle size and particle number and then the elements of the particle, this lubricant are increasing, we can attribute it to the particular machine component from which comes out. Then we can see that that machine component needs to be replacement. This is another simulator here for valve and seat mechanism of the IC engine, and here we have a real simulation for engine contact simulation, reciprocating tester, and we can do actual simulation for the application of IC engines for automobile industry, and they can use this machine to develop the and to reduce the wear of valve and valve seat. This is about the technology. Then we have BTech projects, we have got MTech projects, and we do also, our research scholars of the institute use this lab, not only mechanical, but other departments also use this lab frequently for doing the research and for various collaborations. Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome to Mechanics of Materials Lab. I am Professor Arvind. On my left hand side there is a fire extinguisher. Then there is a first aid kit, followed by program outcomes and program specific outcomes. There is vision of the institute, mission of the institute, followed by vision of the department, mission of the department, and program educational objectives or PEOs. There are also course outcomes, and there is a list of experiments at BTech level which are performed in this lab. There is also the instructions for safety in the form of safety guidelines. On my right hand side there is uninterruptible power supply meant for the proper shutdown of computers associated with this lab. We are now going to see servo-hydraulic fatigue testing machine and video gauge. Here in this lab, we are able to perform a number of experiments, some of which are at BTech level as well. At this time, there is a quarter specimen of compact tension type which has been loaded, and this is full compact tension specimen. This is half of the compact tension specimen. This is a sample for 3-point bend test. This is hourglass type of a specimen. This is another variety of cylindrical specimen, and there is a strip specimen as well. For them there are separate these grips which are used on this machine. The machine is also equipped with a temperature control device wherein temperatures can go to below 0 degrees Celsius, that is, we can go up to minus 100 degrees Celsius, and it is also possible to go to plus 873 degree Kelvin with the help of that chamber. The temperature is brought down by means of a liquid nitrogen tank, which is then attached to the chamber to bring down the temperature. There is also data which is recorded in situ for the specimen, and you can see at this time there is a test going on in which crack length A versus number of cycles and other pertinent data is getting recorded. The experiment also allows us to use the video gauges, and you can see at this time the computer picture from the video gauge is showing that the fatigue crack is propagating, and there's a strain field which is getting developed. Now, in between any two pixels, we will be able to get crack tip opening displacement from this particular data. It is also possible to perform certain ASTM standard tests like E399, E647 on this machine. It is equipped with a power pack, a hydraulic power pack, which is having an oil meant for cooling the machine. The oil itself is getting cooled behind this wall by a cooling chamber. These are some of the grips which are available with us for the types of specimens. Those have been already shown, and these are more grips which are available for other types of the specimens, and you can see what kind of grips we have. And there are certain other grips which can be used with the type of specimen that we intend to use. This particular machine is universal testing machine, in which right now there are grips which are already attached for a C-grip type of a specimen, which just now has been loaded and the sample has now reached its yield strength. The machine is having a capacity of 100 kilonewton. This is a typical C-grip type of specimen, which is full standard specimen, and these are substandard specimens, again C-grip type, which can be used on this machine. Some other samples for some applications are hourglass type, and this is substandard, and this is the standard size which can also be used. There is also possibility of using C-grip type of a specimen. Now you will also see there are temperature chambers, temperature control chambers, in which we can control the temperature. This is the cooling chamber. This is cooling chamber. This is one. This one is furnace. Okay, wherein temperature can go up to 1100 degrees Celsius, and this one is the ambient temperature type of a situation, and we can also have this particular thing going to plus 600 degrees Celsius and minus 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then the whole experimentation is also getting recorded, and you can see at this time how or what type of citrus strain curves are obtained. We can directly see the strength of that particular specimen. This particular machine is an impact testing machine purchased from Walter Plus Buy. Now you will see that the universal testing machine has been purchased from Tinius and Olsen company, whereas the servo hydraulic testing machine has been also got from Walter Plus Buy company. Now here at present situation there is a space here for keeping the specimen horizontally, and the test that will be performed on this will be called as Sharpie type of a specimen. Okay, and this will be loaded horizontally. It has got a V notch here, and there is also another which is Izod type of a specimen, and it is loaded vertically by using another type of hammer. At present situation, the hammer is for Sharpie test, and the energy which is absorbed during the process is also displayed onto the screen which is in front of the machine. You will also see that the machine is fully computer controlled, and the information pertaining to the experimentation is also available in our computer, and we will also be in a position to obtain the impact strength of the specimen or the material. Now this is universal type of Rockwell and Grinnell hardness tester, whereas this is micro hardness tester, and this is a microscope with a capacity of up to 600x or 600 multiplication. And you can see that here we have a specimen wherein we are able to see up to magnification of 600 the top surface of this particular specimen. So the micro hardness tester also is from Tenius and Olson, and the Rockwell and Grinnell hardness tester, which is universal type of hardness tester, is also from Tenius Olson company. There is also apparatus here for a machine for measurement of the torsional type of fatigue in a specimen, and at this time we have loaded a specimen already, okay, and this is a standard specimen on the machine, and all the information pertaining to the testing of this particular component is completely, you see, taken care of by using this particular computer setup.
Welcome to Internal Combustion Engines Laboratory. This laboratory is meant for BTech, MTech and PhD scholars. Here we have different types of equipment facilities. We normally start with the BTech level. For BTech level we have different models here. We have 4-stroke cycle diesel engine model. We have 4-stroke cycle petrol engine model. We have model for the optical engine. We have model for the Wankville engine. We start teaching our BTech scholars from the model and we explain them about various components in an internal combustion engine. After these models, we come to actual engines. Again, the actual engines in cut section, so that they are able to see the internal components of the engine in much details in a realistic manner. Here we have cut section model of single cylinder diesel engine. If you look from this side, and we assume this is the front view, then this is front left of in section, and in this actual single cylinder diesel engine, we can see all components at BTech level, and they get familiar with engine components and their design. The working principle is explained. The different components like the combustion system, the lubrication system, the cooling system, the air supply system, the fuel supply system, and they get explained to the students at BTech level. Then in the actual engines, we have different components like crankshaft for a multi-cylinder engine. We are able to show our students the crankshaft of a multi-cylinder engine. It's designed basically, how the crankshaft is having different types of cranks, the space for the bearings, the passage for the lubricating oil, and the main bearings, the provision for the main bearings in the chassis or foundation. Then we come to actual 600 diesel engine block, the main engine block, how it looks like. These things we normally show to our BTech students who are just trying to start with the studies of IC, internal combustion engines. After studying these models and after studying actual engine components and the cut section of an actual engine,
in inner details, we come to actual experiments on the tests. Here we have single cylinder combustion ignition engine based test rig. We have here a single cylinder engine from Kirloskar company. This engine is basically fitted with a computerized data acquisition system. Again, we have a provision for the varying compression ratio. This is basically a variable compression ratio, single cylinder diesel engine. This engine or this test rig, fitted with all instruments and a computerized data acquisition system, is used by BTech people, by MTech people and PhD scholars for research investigations. One person has submitted his thesis based on his experimentation on this engine only, and two more research scholars have published more than 6 research papers based on experiments done on this experimental test rig only. This test rig is fitted with a piezoelectric pressure transducer and a canonical encoder, which supplies signals to the computerized data acquisition system, and we get PV diagrams and P theta diagrams from this engine. This engine has further provisions for manual measurements. In case of any difficulty with the computerized data acquisition system, we are able to do all sorts of measurements on this engine manually. The tendering has been done accordingly so that our work does not stop. Then we are here with the exhaust gas analyzer. In our lab, we have two 5-gas exhaust gas analyzers for IC engines, which help us to measure CO emissions, hydrocarbon emissions, NOx emissions, and unused oxygen or excess oxygen from the engine cylinders. These analyzers and this test rig help us to do various experiments at BTech level, like how to obtain performance curves. Performance curve means actually how the engine behaves, how the engine behaves in terms of performance. For example, the performance in terms of speed, the performance in terms of load, how the engine will develop power with respect to speed, variation of power with respect to speed. We draw various curves known as performance curves, power versus speed, torque versus speed, brake specific fuel consumption versus speed, or in case of multi-cylinder engine, these things can be plotted against load also. Here also we can do the plotting against load. If the engine is run at constant speed, then load can be varied with the help of dynamometer, and we can get these variations according to load. For example, power versus load, torque versus load, or fuel consumption versus load, or air consumption versus load. Then in order to experiments at a higher level, this engine has the provision of exhaust gas recirculation, which is used for emission control. Then we come to this side where we have one more 3-cylinder spark ignition engine based gas rig. Here in this engine we have spark ignition engine or petrol engine. This is 3-cylinder. While generally we opted for the Maruti Suzuki based engine, so that in case of maintenance we are able to get its components from the market, because the Maruti Suzuki company is one of the prominent companies in the market. This again, is a variable speed engine. We are able to do experiments at BTech level. We are able to do research at MTech level. We are able to do research at the doctorate level. One student has one PhD scholar has been awarded PhD degree, and he has done his experimental work on this test rig only. This test rig is also fitted with a computerized data acquisition system, and in addition to the computerized data acquisition system, the measurements can be done manually as well. There is a double provision, so that in case of any difficulty with any component, the work of the students should not stop. Then further in this lab, we have software section, in which we have two softwares known as AVL Boost and AVL Fire. AVL Boost is the thermodynamic simulation software from AVL Austria, and AVL Fire is the safety software on engines from AVL Austria and AVL India. AVL India and AVL Austria has given us these softwares free of cost under AVL AST UPP, that is University Partnership Program. This is free. Basically we got two free academic research licenses for both AVL Boost and AVL Fire, and many students, BTech level students, MTech level students, and doctorate level students have worked on these two softwares. Besides the students, I was also principal investigator under AVL AST UPP University Partnership Program. I have worked on AVL Boost and AVL Fire, and I have produced many good research papers in good journals in the United States of America. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Heat Transfer Laboratory of Mechanical Engineering. So in this laboratory, we are having 4 sections. This is a heat transfer laboratory, mainly heat transfer laboratory. This is meant for BTech students. BTech students perform experiments, 9 experiments in this laboratory. So in this laboratory, we are having 2 research sections, turbine research laboratory and energy research laboratory. And also, we are having a branch office for student generation here. So let's move to this side. So here, the mission, vision and mission of the department is put on this wall. Okay. So here, we are having a list of experiments, various experiments which are performed in this laboratory. 9 experiments are performed in this laboratory. They are related to conduction, convection and radiation. These are the respective outcomes which the students achieve after performing these experiments. So let's start side. So this is experiment regarding a lagged pipe. We are having a pipe, cylindrical pipe. On that cylindrical pipe, we are having insulating material. We are trying to determine thermal conductivity of this insulating material. So this is a natural convection apparatus. So a heated wall, a heated cylinder just placed in ambient environment. Heat transfer coefficient is measured. So this is a composite wall setup. So a composite wall is formed by a combination of 3 solids: wood, mild steel and copper. So effective thermal conductivity is calculated using this experiment. So at BTech level, again we perform some experiments related to liquids. Thermal determination of thermal conductivity of liquids. Common liquids which are used are water, kerosene, glycerin. So we try to determine thermal conductivity. So this is, we are performing this experiment, radiation heat transfer experiment. Sigma, Stephen Boltzmann's constant, is verified using this experiments. Let's go there. So this is a conduction experiment. A metal rod, copper metal rod is put there between source and sink. So lateral surface is insulated. We try to determine thermal conductivity. Okay. So one more experiment we have in this laboratory. A heat exchanger setup is there. So we can have 2 arrangements here in the setup. A counterflow and parallel flow. So by changing the volume settings, so we can just do those things. And in short, by performing this experiment, students gain good insight. What is the effectiveness? What is the validity? What is the temperature difference using these heat exchange? And which type of heat exchange is effective? Okay, so they gain good insight. So this is a very good experiment. Very good experiment. Maybe this is basic research. This is experiments related to heat transfer enhancement. So we have a wall. On the wall we are having some extension. It's a pin fin. So what the students do? They just try to measure temperature distribution on the pin fin, and in short, they are in a position to see evaluate the effectiveness of this pin fin under forced convection and free convections. So this is the forced convection setup. That heated duct through which air is made to flow. Heat transfer coefficient is determined. So in short, nutshell, we have done 9 experiments. So these experiments are performed in our old scheme at 5th semester level. In the new scheme, again, we are having this thing at 5th semester level. So first the students, we demonstrate all these experiments to students. Then the students are perform these experiments in a group of 2 or 3 students, individual ratings. Then they verify whether their results match with the standard values. So in short, at the end of the lab course, the students, we have to judge whether the students have attained these outcomes. Okay, so this is as far as our BTech section is concerned. So in this laboratory, we are having good state-of-the-art research facility. So this is the turbine research laboratory section. So we are having, basically we have workflow. this wind tunnel, a small wind tunnel. So we can put different bodies, streamlined bodies, block bodies here, or we can put customized bodies here. What we do, we just try to measure pressures at different sections of the body. We are in a position to calculate pressure, lift and drag using these measurements. So for measurement, we are having state-of-art gadgets. One such is hot wiring meter. It is again a state-of-art. So it can give you precise measurement of velocity. We are having, for pressure measurement, we are also having a micromanometer. Again, it has been procured from Furnace Control, UK, 3-4 years now. So my students have extracted a lot of information, data from this, collected data from this. And here we are having an experimental setup of a PhD student. You can see data equation, thermocouples coming from this thing, put using a data equation system. It has been procured from national instruments. So data is required and stored in the computer, then you process the data. So like that. So in short nutshell, you can see that. Very good facility for research. So from this section, 2 students have completed their PhD and they have been awarded PhD. So one was working on heat transfer enhancement by passive control. Another was working on heat transfer enhancement using active flow control. So this is one more research section. So let us move to the last section. So this is energy research laboratory. So we're doing research here also in nanofluids insulating material. So here in this section, what we have, we are having very high precision thermal conductivity measurement. So one such is this. So we can measure thermal conductivity of liquids, solids using this. So recently we have put this. So this is also a thermal conductivity measurement. But here in this equipment, you can just vary the temperature. You can vary the temperature back and forth because a water bath has been fitted with this thing. So as I was telling you that we are doing some research with nanofluids. So here in this laboratory we also prepared nanofluid. So a sonificator is must. So we have just obtained a very high-end sonificator for this laboratory, and we are having some related accessories, magnetics, Here also we are having a workstation. So we are having 2 licenses of COMSOL, legal license of COMSOL for our students who are working in this laboratory. So we are having heat transfer module and safety. So a lot of simulation studies are being performed here. So in addition to this thing, we have procured this thing also. This is a thermal imager camera. So we can take images, thermal images of many test cells with help of this thing. Then we can just take this data, process this data on the computer, then get full field temperature information. So this is the facility, research facilities what we are having in this section. So again, I can say that in that section and in this section, so far 3 PhDs have been awarded, 2 have submitted, and 25 students have completed their content dissertation. So I can also add that this facility is available around the clock. Students are you'll always find students working here in this laboratory, doing research, doing simulation and other things. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Manoj Kumar. So this is our fluid mechanics lab, and in this lab we do have different experimental setups. So before going to the experimental setups, I would like to show you that we do have a safety guidelines over there, and as well as the list of experiments are there, and these are the course outcomes, right? So we will start with the first experimental setup, which is the smoke tunnel over here. This is a big setup, right? And then we have, this is the as you can see, this setup, smoke tunnel. This is for the flow visualization, and
Then we have a second setup, which is a remote setup, right? And then we have a drag coefficient apparatus, right? And then after that we have this orifice and mouthpiece apparatus. Then we have study of friction in pipes. This is the apparatus for that. And this is the Bernoulli's theorem apparatus. Now I would like to take you to the next setup, which is the laminar flow table, right? And the last setup we do have is a Benchry meter and the orifice meter apparatus. And this is our wind tunnel, right? Which is assembled in this lab only. So this is all about this fluid mechanics lab. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the CAD lab of Mechanical Engineering Department. I am Dr. Mohammad Mohsin, official in charge of this lab. This lab is utilized for two UG courses, Machine Drawing and Solid Modeling, which is in BTech 3rd semester, and Computer Application in Mechanical Engineering, which is in BTech 7th semester. These are the vision of the department, mission and program educational objectives. And on left side we have list of experiment for CAM lab, and below are the course outcome of CAM lab. Coming to the lab facilities, this lab is equipped with 30 number of high configuration system which are capable to carry out high computing operation. We have 20 users SolidWorks perpetual license and 5 users ANSYS research license. This lab is 24/7 accessible to the students involving in simulation. We also have a power backup for uninterrupted operation. In this lab, along with BTech and MTech scholars, some PhD scholars are also doing their research.
Good afternoon. This is the entrance of Production Engineering Laboratory of Mechanical Engineering Department. Here in the lab, the safety guidelines are displayed, and this is a portion of our protective equipment or safety equipment with the first aid box. And here list of experiments and course outcomes are displayed in the lab. There are various equipment available in this lab, which includes lathe machine, conventional lathe machine, CNC lathe machine, CNC milling machine, surface grinding machine, power hacksaw, shaper machine, and here there are various hand tools available which are used while performing experiments. And this is power hacksaw machine. This is used for cutting the workpiece in order to perform further operations. And this machine is used to cut the sample into two pieces. And here this is another machine, which is lathe machine. This machine is used for performing various operations like plane turning, taper turning, facing operation, for performing various experiments for undergraduate laboratories. And here this CNC milling machine and CNC lathe machine. This machine is used for performing turning operation, plane turning operation, taper turning operation, facing operation and threading operation. This machine is used for performing experiment for CAM and Industrial Automation Laboratory for fourth semester. And this is a surface grinding machine. This machine is used for grinding the surface of plane workpiece. This is the grinding wheel, and here the grinding is going on mild steel plate. And here this is a shaper machine. This machine is used for performing shaping operation in manufacturing technology laboratory. This machine uses single point cutting tool to perform machining operation. And here this is a notice board which displays the timetable and preventive maintenance chart. and the course outcome for both the lab courses, which is Manufacturing Technology Lab course and CAM and Industrial Automation Lab course. The CAM and Industrial Automation Lab course is for 4th semester, and Manufacturing Technology Lab course is in 3rd semester. Now this is the overall ambience of Production Engineering Laboratory of Mechanical Engineering Department. This is the overall ambience with the list of experiments, course outcomes, vision of the department, mission of the department, PEOs displayed in the lab. This is the overall ambience of Production Engineering Lab of Mechanical Engineering Department.
My name is Babar Ahmed. I'm the in charge of the Dynamics lab of this department. So welcome to my lab. So this lab actually caters to two lab courses. The first one is Theory of Machines 1 and the second one is Theory of Machines 2. So these are the course outcomes and the safety guidelines. And this is the list of experiments. So I'll give you a brief demo of some of the equipments that are present in our lab. So this is actually a Coriolis force demonstrator. So if I stop the rotation of the platform, you can see that the jet actually moves in a straight line. But once I make the platform rotate at a certain speed, you can clearly see that the jet is actually deflecting. Okay, and this deflection is due to the existence of Coriolis force and then non-inertial film of reference. Okay, so moving on, this actually is a centrifugal force apparatus demonstrator. So we can measure the centrifugal force for different masses and different radii of rotation. Okay, so moving on, so these are some of the mechanisms that we use for demonstration purposes in our Theory of Machines first class. So this, as you can see, is a Hooke's coupling. This is a kinematic model of a 4-bar link. This is the Whitworth quick return mechanism. This is the Ackermann steering mechanism. And we have a kinematic model of a crank mechanism. And this is a crank slider mechanism. Now moving on to this, this is a particularly special apparatus. This actually measures the gyroscopic forces when shafts or rotors rotate at a certain RPM. So what I can do is that I can make the disc rotate at a certain RPM, and then I can adjust the rate of precession until the disc is this shaft is actually aligned horizontally with the platform. So once the shaft is horizontally aligned, that is the rate of precession. So we can, for a given angular rate of spin, we can determine what is the rate of precession using this apparatus. Now this is a centrifugal governor. Okay, so again here what we can do is that we can determine the controlling force curve, controlling force versus the sleeve displacement using this apparatus. Again, this is a very useful piece of equipment for our courses. Now moving on, this is the free and force vibration apparatus. Okay, so here what we can do is that we can determine the response of an equivalent spring mass dashpot system. So if I give a slight displacement here, okay, now I can record the response on this chart, or still better, what I can do is that I can record the response using a data acquisition system here, and here you can see the response has been recorded. So using this information, I can determine the natural frequency, I can determine the amplitude as well. Okay, so we can carry out close to 10 experiments on this one single apparatus. Okay, now again, this is another centrifugal governor apparatus, and this is a gyroscope, another gyroscope. So another special equipment that we have in our lab is the whirling of shaft apparatus. So this, as you can see, this is the whirling of shafts apparatus. Now rotating shafts actually bend in a certain complicated way at certain speeds which are known as critical speeds. So using this apparatus we can determine those critical speeds at which the plane of the shaft and the line of the centers rotates. So that is essentially known as whirling of shafts. So as you can see, right now the shaft is in its first mode. So if I increase the speed of rotation, what I can show you that now as you can see, as you can clearly see, the shaft is now whirling in its second mode of vibration. Okay. So similarly, by increasing the speed using these potentiometers, okay. So there are potentiometers which allow me to speed increase the RPM. The current RPM is around 2600. Okay. So I can increase the RPM. Then the shaft will go into its third mode, fourth mode, so on and so forth. So we can determine the critical speeds, whatever the number that we are actually interested in for a particular shaft. Now we can also use shafts of different diameters, and we can also vary the length of the shafts using these guides here. So we can adjust these are actually for safety. We don't want the amplitude of the shaft to increase beyond a certain limit so that the shaft does not fail. And you can see the entire apparatus is covered by a perspex glass. This basically ensures the safety of the person who is actually performing the experiment. So we also have a data acquisition system, and we can record the data using the data acquisition system. This is just getting booted up, so I can show you that. Just bear with me for a couple of seconds because the system is booting up. In the meanwhile, you can see clearly that this is in the second mode of vibration. And you can see the response here. Okay, so we can actually determine the critical speeds using this information, which is automatically being recorded by a suitable data acquisition unit. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I welcome you to the Industrial Engineering Lab of the Mechanical Engineering Department. Industrial Engineering Lab, in this lab the students are exposed to the design, installation and improvement of the integrated systems of men, machine and equipment, and then we demonstrate them the various industrial engineering techniques which a student has to use in industry. So, the techniques generally which the students should be exposed to when they join an industry is based upon the statistical quality control, the materials management, the inventory control, the time and the motion study and various other techniques. So we have 2 semesters in which the students are exposed and demonstrated on various experiments. We have industrial engineering labs in the 5th semester level, and then we have industrial engineering activities for the 7th semester students of mechanical engineering. We have a couple of softwares which we have installed. These are the simulation softwares where actually the students are demonstrated various activities relating to the material handling, the process layout, statistical quality control, and then we also have SPC, the statistical process control softwares. We call them an SPSS, where various experiments and data management systems are basically explained to the students. And then the second software, we call it as the witness software, where students can understand industrial setups and then can apply the knowledge of engineering, specifically the industrial engineering, to understand simulated environment of an industry. So this is the simulation software witness, where where experiments are performed, and then these are the course outcomes and the list of experiments at the 5th semester level. Then we have the course outcomes for the 7th semester lab. We call it the Industrial Engineering 2 lab. So those are the various course outcomes, and the list of experiments for the students in the 7th semester level. Now this is one of the equipments which we have very recently purchased. It's known as the EMG. This is used by the students and the researchers in defining, in understanding the various human factor engineering aspects or the ergonomic aspects. So basically this machine is used to know the fatigue, especially the muscular and the nerve disorders which are caused because of continuous work, manual work performed by workers. So this would really help the students to understand the ergonomic concept in a better way, and we will be able to pinpoint the bad movements, the physiological problems, the psychological problems, the ergonomical problems relating to workers. And currently we are using this equipment for searching a problem with the carpet industry workers, because they have to work day in and day out for long hours, so they develop some ailments where we are trying to investigate through our research that what are those muscular and the nerve disorders which are formed, which are which give rise to the workers because of the bad postures and the bad working methods. So this is what we are using presently. There are some small experiments which really simulate the various students as far as the quality control is concerned. So we have some pin experiment, then these are the experiments based upon the quality control. So these are some basic assembly processes where we try to explain the concept of learning curve to the students. So this is all about the Industrial Engineering Lab. Thank you so much.
This is the project lab of Department of Mechanical Engineering, and this lab is used by BTech students for doing their minor project as well as for their major project. So this is the area for keeping safety equipment. There are various safety equipment kept over here to be used by BTech students, and this is the space for first aid box. Here we kept bench wise, which is used by BTech student for doing some fitting work, and this is the space for keeping hand tools. Here we kept various hand tools which are plier and screwdriver, set of screwdriver and hammer, hand saw, and these general purpose hand tools are frequently used by BTech student in their minor as well as major project. So this is one project which is a racing car, and this project done by BTech student under the supervision of Professor G. Herman and Dr. Amur Salim. And there are other projects also which are displayed over here in this project lab of mechanical department. This is a solar dryer which is made by BTech student of batch 2017, and there are other projects also. One is agricultural spraying and weeding machine. This project done by a BTech student of in June 2018 under the supervision of Dr. Saad Parvez. So this is another project displayed here, which is solar grass cutter done by BTech student in June 2019 under the supervision of Dr. Mohammad Hanif. And this is a project which is temperature measurement setup, development of temperature measurement setup done by Mr. Samarth Gupta under the supervision of Dr. Noor Jama Khan. And this setup is used to measure the temperature while performing turning operation on lathe machine or various operation on milling machine. And this setup is also used for measuring the temperature while doing welding. This is a 3D printer used by BTech students for their project work. And here this is space for keeping hand grinder, hand drill, the complete kit of drill bits. This is the complete kit of hand tools which is frequently used by BTech students, and this is a workstation having soldering station, which is used for some electronic components, and this is space for lab tools used by BTech student. We are having a specific place for keeping scrap from the project of BTech student. So we are keep scrap in this particular portion, which is scrap yard, and we are having another space which is used by BTech student for doing their modeling as well as software work. Also, we are having this utilization register, which is a log register, how and when the lab is utilized by BTech students. So this is the overall ambience of project lab of Department of Mechanical Engineering, with the course outcomes displayed there, along with program specific outcome, program education outcomes, mission of the department, vision of the department, as well as safety guidelines are displayed in the project lab. So this is all about the project lab of Mechanical Engineering Department. Thank you.